that out? They're still cheering the monologue.
Yeah, I was going to ask you who wrote your material.
Yeah. How are you? It's nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Now, that is a nice outfit.
Thank you.
You design a lot. Do you get into the design of your wardrobe?
Well, when I'm doing a show, when I'm going on tour, or if I'm doing a movie, I collaborate with whoever the clothes designer is. But, no, I mean, what I'm wearing right now is just something I bought in a lingerie store.
Oh, no, what? I may not be up on these things exactly, but what would you
What
call
am I wearing?
Yeah, if I went into a lingerie shop and I wanted to buy one of those for somebody. Come on, not for me, but for somebody.
They'd probably...
What would I call it? I mean...
It's called a bustier.
A bustier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah, that's nice. Sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah. Bustier, obviously, to enhance the
bust?
The bust line, yeah.
Well, it's French.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's very attractive.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming here tonight. I don't see you very often on television, except unless it's one of your specials. I saw you in Saturday Night Live once a couple of years ago, and you were excellent in that.
Thanks. It was fun. This is the first talk show I've ever done.
Really?
Yeah.
Can I ask you? How come?
I don't know.
You feel uncomfortable when you do them?
No, I don't feel uncomfortable. I don't know. I never thought about doing one. But I figured if I was going to present myself as a virgin to anyone, it should be you. I suppose there has to be a first in my life. I bet you're the first girl that you spoke to in a bustier.
Yes, I think you are. Yeah, at least on television.
Yeah.
At least on television.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming. It's nice to have you here tonight. There was a lot of excitement around here today.
Yeah.
When you got that kind of a reaction from the audience when you come out, you get used to that? You really...
Well, I don't want to say get used to it, because then it sounds like, it's all blasé for me, because it's really exciting when everybody responds this way, but...
a lot of people... That's nice to hear, because a lot of people that have had your success and when you walk out and people know you, do take it a little blasé.
No, I love it.
And
it makes me feel good.
Yeah. When people refer to you as, which they do, as sexy, is that now, a lot of women would say, oh, that's male chauvinism and I don't like that, and so forth and so on. Do you like that?
Yeah. I like it. Why shouldn't I like it?
Exactly.
I'm still the same person I was before they called me that.
You don't think you've changed?
Since when? Since they called me that?
Yeah.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah. Where were you from originally?
I'm from Michigan.
Michigan?
Yeah.
From Flint, was it? Or Flint, Michigan?
Well, I was born in Bay City and grew up all around the suburbs of Detroit.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm a Midwestern girl in a bustier.
I didn't see a lot of these, to be honest, when I grew up in the Midwest.
You didn't? I didn't either. That's why I have so many now.
Yeah, and I come
If I had seen them, I wouldn't have been able to wear them.
Yeah. Tell me about your family. You're Italian?
Yeah. My mother's French.
Right.
Yeah, my father's Italian.
And the name is pronounced?
Ciccone.
Ciccone?
Yeah.
Right. Strict family?
Yes, very.
In what way? No, I'm serious. I know a lot of Italian families, and they're very strict.
Well, just ask me if I could do one thing, and I'll probably say no.
Oh, you come to me, and I'll play your father.
Okay.
And you come in and say something.
Okay, Dad, I want to know if I can go to the movies with my friend this Friday.
What's his name?
No, just say... It doesn't even get that far. Just say no.
No, you can't go. That direct, right? Now, how old would you be? You have to be before... At any age?
What?
When you'd ask your dad to go to the movies, how old would you be?
Any age.
And he'd say no automatically?
Well, my father liked to focus on schoolwork and chores around the house and church and stuff.
Well, that's good, solid.
Yeah.
Solid upbringing. And you're one of 7?
8.
8 children?
Yeah.
Where are you on the line?
I'm the oldest girl. I have 2 older brothers.
The oldest?
Yeah.
Was your dad strict with all the children?
Well, he's not so strict with the the 2 youngest, but I think that happens. You try out all your things, and then you get to the bottom, and you say, "What the hell? They're all going to turn out the same anyway."
How old were you? How old were you when you felt comfortable walking in, saying, "Hey, I'm going to go out on a date"? And
I never felt comfortable when I was living at home.
Really?
No, but I left home when I was 17. So.
Right. Would he allow you to wear makeup?
No.
No makeup?
No.
Dancing would be out, I suppose.
No, I was allowed to take dance lessons, but I think my father really wasn't too fond of the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he thought, well, that's a nice little whimsical, hobby, but, what are you really going to do with your life?
Yeah, but your folks had old-fashioned values, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, because I wouldn't have turned out the way I was if I didn't have all those old-fashioned values to rebel against, so.
Yeah. Good answer. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. Stay where you are. We're talking with Madonna. We were talking about your upbringing a little bit. When you did go out on dates, what would you have a curfew? Midnight.
Hell no.
Really?
Try 9:30.
9:30?
Yeah.
What could you do on a date and be home by 9:30?
Nothing or a lot fast.
Well, I guess that's all right. Would you?
Depends on the guy I was with.
Yeah. When did you? Now, your husband Sean was on the show not too long ago. Did you watch him?
Yeah.
How do you think he did? I know he doesn't do things very well either, and he's rather reclusive, isn't he?
Well, he's shy.
Yeah.
By nature. Yeah. But I thought he was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sweet.
He's an interesting man.
Yeah, he's very interesting.
But you have been quoted as saying yourself you're a flirt. Does that cause any problems?
With Sean? I think that deep down inside he knows that about me. And that he doesn't take it to heart. What? I flirt with everybody, though. I mean, I flirt with grandmothers and garbage men and stuff like that.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's part of my nature.
Yeah. You're going out on tour for, what, 3
months.
Excuse me, there's something flying around here.
Must be that mousse that you put in your hair.
What? You want me to bring out the baton? You want me to bring out the baton?
No, I'm just saying that because I know this girl who put mousse in her hair. It was made out of apple something or another, apple pectin, and
all the insects?
She had all these fruit flies flying around her head.
Well, you change your hair every so often, don't you?
Yeah, I change it a lot.
What decides? How do you decide when to change it and what to change it to?
Well, I had a blonde for a while, and then after I did my movie, I had to bleach it so much that the roots wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Because my hair grows really fast, and that's a really long, somewhat hysterical process for me because I can't sit still.
Right.
So after the movie was over with, I said, forget it, I'm not bleaching it anymore, and just start to let my hair grow out. Then it grew out, and I made it dark, and then I was ready to go on tour, and I just felt like I wanted to have blonde hair again.
Right.
Yeah. It looks good on stage.
Yeah. You mentioned during the break. You mentioned during the break that you're a big fan of Ray Charles.
Oh, yeah,
who's also here tonight.
He's
Who
great.
else did you, when you were very young?
Was I a big fan of?
Yeah, who were you a big fan of?
Oh, a lot of people. Well, I loved Shirley Temple, and I loved.
Well, Shirley Temple was way before your time, really.
Yeah, but I know. But I was a big fan of hers when I was a little girl. Then I was a big fan of movie stars. You name it, Marilyn Monroe. I mean, but I hate to say that because I always get that comparison. But
You hate comparisons to other people?
Well, they get a little tiresome after a
Yeah.
while, especially if they're the same thing over and over.
Yeah,
again.
and they compare you to Marilyn Monroe occasionally.
Yeah, but that's just because we have the same hair color. That's where the comparison ends, as far as I'm concerned.
Now, the movie you've done.
Yeah.
And we're going to show a little clip from it. Comes out in August. What are we going to see in the clip here? And you do this with an accent, do you not?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I think it's either Queens or Bronx. I'm not sure. I just made it up in my head.
An Eastern New York accent somewhere in Queens or the Bronx.
I spent
Maybe
a lot of time in
Brooklyn?
Manhattan.
Yeah.
It could be Brooklyn, but I spent a lot of time in Manhattan and I heard it a lot. I don't know exactly where it's from, but
Right. Probably a combination of all New York accents, right?
Yeah.
So what's the scene? Is it
the scene is I get released from jail and this tax attorney guy comes to pick me up, Griffin Dunn. He comes to get me and he's supposed to take me to the bus. That's all he has to do, just get me on the bus that takes me back home. But I don't want to get on the bus to go back home. I just got out of jail and that's the last thing I want to do is go back home. And so I pretty much botch up all of his plans and for the next few days. And I somehow get the keys to his Rolls and get in and drive myself. And then I see a mall and I really want to go shopping. I have been in jail for 4 years. What can a girl do? So so that's what the scene is.
Okay, watch the monitor.
Nobody scratches.
Okay, that's it. Fine. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's hurt.
Don, don't be mad at me, okay? It's just that I've been stuck in that cage for 4 years, and I just went a little crazy, and it won't happen again.
You're right. You're right. This will not happen again.
But as long as we're here, can we go in for a few seconds?
No.
Please?
No.
Why not? The bus doesn't leave for half an hour, and I can't go back to Philly without any presents because my mom, she thinks I've been shopping.
Shopping? For 4 years?
Mm-hmm. So I can't exactly go back empty-handed because it isn't very nice.
All right. 15 minutes. And then straight to the bus station. You promise?
Promise.
Who are you?
Tell me about your days as a waitress. Somebody told me you were a waitress at one time.
Yeah, but I wasn't really good.
Yeah. A lot of actors, I don't know why, I guess, so they can do that and then still
Well, I wasn't
look
like
for
a
work.
waitress at like nice restaurants. I could only get jobs in
Where'd this happen? Detroit, in Michigan, or?
No, New York.
In New York City?
No, like Dunkin' Donuts and
They have waitresses at Dunkin' Donuts?
Well, yeah, there's like a counter where you have coffee and donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go too far wrong with coffee and donuts.
I know, but I was playing with the jelly squirter machine one day. And I got fired.
Playing with a jelly squirter.
Yeah, there wasn't any donuts. I just kept pushing the jelly squirter.
So that didn't last long?
No.
What else do you do for a living?
Did I do for a living?
Yeah.
Well, I worked as a hat check girl at the Russian Tea Room for a while. That was fun because I got to meet lots of celebrities and stuff. When I was a young starstruck girl.
Yeah. You went to New York all on your own?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I don't understand that. Here you say you had to be home by 9:30 when you're living with your folks.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden your dad said,
Oh, he didn't say
take
go
off
ahead.
to New York?
I didn't have his blessing.
Oh.
No, I just left.
Was it an unhappy situation?
Well, no. I mean, he wasn't cursing me or anything. He wanted, I got a scholarship to go to the University of Michigan, and he wanted me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that. And, you know, I just said I wanted to go to New York and be a dancer, and that's not really something you can bank on. And so he wasn't thrilled about that, but I went anyways.
And now?
And now here I am, and I'm not sorry I did it.
Yeah. You have to make your move.
Oh, and now there's my father.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. And now how?
And now my father, he's not exactly, doesn't have a shoe in his mouth or anything, because that's not my father's style.
Right.
But I think he's very proud of me. So.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is. And he has every right to be.
Yeah. Yeah, Dad.
Yeah, Dad. Hey, Dad. No more 9:30s.
Exactly.
We'll be right back. Stay where you are.
I would thoroughly love it, of course.
Yeah. Madonna, I hope you'll come back with us. I hope you had a good time. Thank you both. We'll see you tomorrow night with Dennis Miller and Randy Graff and Les Miserables. Good night.
Next on Late Night with David Letterman, David welcomes Arnold Schwarzenegger and singer Denise Williams. Then start your day with NBC News at sunrise. And tomorrow morning on Today, a talk with Susan Sarandon.
Somebody asked me, whose dress is that? And I was about to say mine when I realized that was not what they meant by the question.
Mm-hmm.
Whose dress is that?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently meant designer.
Uh-huh.
Answer was, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But I'm tempted to ask, whose dress is that?
I have the same reply. I don't know. You could look at the tag in the back. It was designed in the 50s.
Where'd you get it?
I got it in a thrift store on Lancashire in the Valley, right next to the place where my band rehearses. There's all these junk stores.
That's not junk.
I know.
That's
I couldn't believe it.
A great dress.
Thanks.
Why
It cost about $5.
$5.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's disgusting.
I know.
Why 50s?
Why? I just saw it and I loved the color and everything. I thought it was incredible. It was a little big on me. I've had it fitted to me. So.
What kind of reaction does it get from people?
This dress?
Yeah.
They want to know where I got it. They think it's great.
So mine is a very common reaction.
Yeah, but I don't wear it every day, so it's not like something that happens to me over and over again.
This is certainly not the dress you would have worn even a couple of years ago. You were a totally different look then.
Yeah.
Now, is this you have changed, or is this more like a business decision that this is a new look? So what is it?
I think it's a combination of everything. I think when my first records came out, the clothes that I was wearing at the time were clothes that I'd been wearing for the past few years in New York, and it was a combination of things that friends of mine had designed in New York, like Lower East Side designers, and my girlfriend Mary Paul had designed all the jewelry and the crucifixes and stuff, and all my friends were wearing all the bracelets and all the necklaces, and it was very inexpensive also. So, I mean...
From your struggling dancer days.
Yeah. It's clothes I could afford and clothes I could get for free.
I was reading at one point you couldn't decide what to do, and you had more hair, and you tied up
that was
pantyhose in your hair.
Yeah, my hair, I cut my hair off, and then my hair was growing out, and kept getting in my face, and then one day I just took a pair of tights, because I didn't have a headband, tied it around my head, and it looked sort of like a bow, and then I went out to some club, and someone kept staring at my head, and they said, "Do you have a pair of tights in your hair?" Or, I said, "Yeah." There, I guess the Capizio tag is showing. So, but everything was kind of rag bag sort of approach.
So, I can't imagine you in that anymore. Look at the way you're sitting. You are so elegant, and you are just...
Well, it depends. When I'm wearing a pair of ripped up jeans and t-shirt, I sit differently than this. I can't really move in this dress, so I have to sit this way.
So you had to tell me that part. Which also...
Well, these kind of dresses, clothes make you. I mean, they make your body responds differently to what you're wearing.
What does that say about women in the 50s who were wearing dresses that made them look great but feel kind of uncomfortable, and spiked heels and the whole number?
Well, I think it made them kind of feel breathless. And that was what was so sexy about it, because you're kind of constricted, and everything was, your tits were sticking out, and your diaphragm was pressed in, and everything was kind of like that, And
the mystery was, let this woman out of here.
Exactly.
But you are an 80s woman in a 50s dress. So what is this new equation equal?
It equals me. I don't have a name for it.
Did you get tired of seeing yourself running around all over America? Everybody looked like Madonna for a while.
Oh, yeah, definitely. After a while, I started feeling like I was copying myself. So I was like, I have to change my clothes. And then I had money, and I could buy nice clothes, so.
Like a $5 dress from the 50s. Yeah.
Well, no, I could ask, I could get nicer clothes, more elegant, so.
Is it like playing dress up a little bit?
Yeah, but it was like playing dress up then, too.
Like, Is playing dress-up something you like to do?
I like to play different characters, yeah.
Is this because you're an actress or because you're kind of a little girl liking to play dress-up?
It's because I'm a little girl who likes to play dress-up who's also an actress.
You have been you are a major star, we can stipulate that. Big, international. But you have been a star not long enough for anybody really to know much about you.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like everybody knows everything there is to know about me.
Why? You don't do that many interviews.
I do tons. I've done tons of interviews. I feel like, I haven't done a lot of television, but I've done a lot of press interviews. So
why
time
haven't
and
you?
life and, people, and I just feel like people have read a lot about me.
You haven't done a lot of television interviews, and thank you very much for doing this television interview. But why haven't you? Why have you? You've really avoided it.
I don't know. I guess I don't watch television that much. So, no offense.
That's okay.
I just don't, and I never really liked the idea of doing it. Somehow I feel that television makes people, it's not flattering to people. I'd rather go see someone in a movie, widescreen Technicolor, or read about them and see still photographs.
Movies. Funny you should mention it. Who's that girl starring Madonna as Nikki Finn? Nikki Finn is not this woman I'm sitting across from. I mean, obviously, she's a character you play in a movie, but why did you want to play this character, Nikki Finn? And who is she about?
She's funny, and she's sweet, and she's tough, and she's street smart, and she's vulnerable, and lots of interesting personality traits.
Was there something of her in you in an earlier time in your life?
Maybe not necessarily an earlier time, maybe any time in my life, but I identified with her character to a certain extent.
What aspects of her character did you identify with?
She's resourceful, and she's funny, and I think I'm funny. And she's smart. I mean, there are certain things about her that I can relate to, but obviously I never would have found myself doing 4 years in jail. So.
No, you've not done any time. She's a thief. How come she had to be a thief?
Well, she's not really a thief. She's
not really a thief.
What happened is she came to New York City from Philadelphia, and she just hung out with the wrong crowd of people. I mean, her boyfriend happened to be a small-time thief, and she was kind of in on it because of association. She didn't really do anything. She just learned stuff through him.
Seen in a movie where she's lifting cassettes. Maybe
Yeah.
she's stealing Madonna cassettes. I don't know.
She learned that from her boyfriend.
Yes.
It wasn't her fault. She was a victim of circumstance.
Yeah. It's just business then. It's
Exactly.
it's not you like this woman.
Yeah, and that's
you
the other
do
thing.
like her.
Even
Does
though
it bother you that audiences who will like her might also say, well, she's a thief, isn't it?
No, I don't think that they'll even think about the fact that I'm breaking the law right and left. That's what's so great about her, that she is breaking the law and doing all these crazy things, but somehow you forgive her while she's breaking everything that she gets in the way of, or that gets in her way.
Your co-star, Griffin Dunn, is he your co-star?
Yes.
All right. Not that I forgot his name, I just didn't remember how the titles went. But this is television, so
Certainly
my parts
my
of this,
co-star.
when I get stupid in an interview, it gets cut out, so it's okay.
Okay.
How
about me?
Oh, we only want your good parts too.
Oh, good.
I don't want your bad parts on television either. We have a limited amount of time on my television program,
Exactly.
so I don't put the bad parts. It makes me look bad too.
Right.
It's the best you could do, Jane, so not to worry. Griffin Dunn, your co-star, describing working with you on the set between takes, would find himself, as he described it, saying to himself, who is that girl, to quote the title of the movie. So I'm tempted to ask that too.
Well,
Not about Nikki Finn, but about Madonna. So for me, for Griffin Dunn,
What, you want to know about who, me or the character?
You. No, Madonna, you.
Oh, well. That would be giving all the mystery away. I'd be glad to explain my character in the movie. But I think Griffin was asking that question because when we first met and we'd have our meetings and stuff, I think I was fairly low-key. And then when we got on the set and I got into character, I mean, my character has non-stop energy, and she's extremely loud and chatty and talkative, and she's just like this human fireball. And I had to maintain that energy all the time, even in between takes. So I think I drove him a little bit insane.
He said that you were a very noisy girl.
Yes. But I'm supposed to drive him insane in the movie, so it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mystery. Yes, mystery is an important component in your career, maybe your life, but certainly your career, and I don't want you to give all the secrets away, but in any good mystery there are clues. What are some of the clues that might describe who Madonna is?
That's a tough question. I'm not a man.
Ah.
That's a clue.
All right. Where did you come from?
I came from Michigan.
Where in Michigan?
Well, I was born in Bay City.
Bay City?
Yeah.
Little town?
Mm-hmm.
Small town?
Little smelly town in northern Michigan.
Why do you say smelly town?
Because they had, it was like it was like New Jersey. There was a lot of chemical dumps there or something.
Yeah.
So
do you say little smelly town with some affection or with complete distaste?
No, I have great affection for Bay City. And then I grew up in Pontiac and other suburbs around Detroit. And then I moved to New York.
Can you figure that out? Why someone who is arguably, and I have seen this in print, the biggest star in the world today, came from Bay City, Michigan?
Well,
how is that possible?
James Dean came from some small town in Indiana. I mean, I don't think you got to come from a, big cosmopolitan city to be a
Obviously
big star.
don't. We could probably sit here and come up with a much longer list than Madonna and James Dean.
Yeah.
And it interests me, too, that James Dean came from a little town in Indiana.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How does great talent...
I think a lot of it has to do with imagination and the great desire and need to get out of that small town kind of feeling and go somewhere and be somebody because you feel like you're missing something.
All those people, those kids grew up, go to the New York School for the Performing Arts. All of those kids who go to Los Angeles and they're child stars and they're talented.
Right.
They didn't get to be among the biggest entertainers in the world today, but this little girl grew up from Bay City, Michigan, and somehow
Well, they're not as
did
driven
it.
as I am.
Yeah.
Probably not as hungry as I was for it,
Do you know why you, of all the other kids in Bay City, Michigan, to my knowledge, hasn't produced anybody else? And presumably there were some hungry other people.
Well,
what
Pontiac
made
or
you even more driven? Do you know?
I think coming from a big family, has something to do with it.
How big?
8 brothers and sisters, and wanting, that sort of competitiveness you have when there's a whole bunch of you and you want your parents' attention, and you don't want the hand-me-down clothes. You know what I mean? You want to stand out. You want to be treated special, and then also my mother dying. I think that had a lot to do with me saying, well, after I got over my heartache, saying, well, I'm going to be really strong then. Or if I can't have my mother, I'm going to take care of myself.
How old were you when your mother died?
6.5.
That's plenty old enough to know and remember your mother, isn't it? What was she like?
She was beautiful and very loving and devoted to her children. Very children-oriented.
She died of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
A long illness?
2 years. I think, approximately.
I wonder about that. If When a trauma happens in a little girl's life like that, do you think, I'm psychology, I don't know, do you think that to a degree that 6.5-year-old girl stopped, froze in development, and that somewhere in your character there's still that same little girl? There's so much little girl about you, that vulnerability, even a little playfulness. It's not all a tragic little girl.
But I don't think you have to have I don't think one of your parents needs to die for you to maintain a childlike quality in yourself. I think certain people let it stay and certain people kill it as they grow older.
Okay, if it's not the childlike quality, that driven, what made you different from everybody else?
I think, as I said before, a hunger, a desire to find something to take the place of my mother, I think maybe that might have made me separate or different.
It's like they make rare metalloids or elements that are forged in high heat and pressure.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that happened to you. You were born with gifts, beauty, talent. A lot of people are, maybe not a lot, but people are born with talent and beauty, but something happened and something special emerged.
Right.
Do I overanalyze or?
No. No. But usually tragedy makes you stronger. So.
You are?
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
You're strong? You are a strong person? I mean, it certainly is you give off strength. You really do, but one never knows if that is
a cover-up?
A cover-up, yeah.
I think some of it is, I think I have as many vulnerabilities as I have strengths. But the strengths usually overpower the weaknesses, hopefully.
In your household, as you grew up and with lots of brothers and sisters, and a father who was an engineer, college-educated, white-collar, so if you weren't wealthy, you were middle class. And a father with strong values, right?
Yes.
Catholic schools?
Yeah, until my last few years of high school. I went
A's on your report cards?
Yeah, I was a good student.
When did the rebellion, or the little flashes of it, begin?
Well, just because I was doing good in school doesn't mean I wasn't rebelling against my parents. I wanted to do good in school, but wanting to wear dresses above my knees and wear lipstick and go out on dates with boys was considered rebellious in my family.
What were some of the gestures of rebellion that you recall?
Something that I did?
Yeah.
Oh, well, when I would go to school dressed a certain way, or no, I would come down to breakfast dressed very modestly and eat my breakfast, and I would go back upstairs and borrow a girlfriend's miniskirt and put that on and then put my winter coat on over it and go to my bus stop, and my stepmother would think that I was dressed a certain way, and I wasn't. And then I'd go in the bathroom and put tons of makeup on, So that was...
Now,
and then I'd wash it all off before I went home. Another
of your reputations, very ill-defined, mind you. They say you're a tough businesswoman. You have a good head for contracts and so forth.
You mean I read them?
I got the impression you write them.
No. I couldn't have that boring job. I mean, I'd never want to be the person that writes up all those things.
But do you trust your business affairs to other people, or do you do it? You got to have hands-on?
Well, I have business managers, and I have managers, and I have lawyers, and I have agents, but
Do they bother you with details?
They have to, I insist. I call them up all the time and annoy them.
Why? What are you protecting?
I just want to know what's going on. I make a lot of money. I want to know where everything's going.
Is the money important?
It's not important like, oh God, I have to have a lot of money, but I know lots of people in my position have a lot of money, and somehow it gets lost somewhere and nobody knows where it went. So
where none of your business question, but where is your money? I mean, do you have a big house, big car?
It's in lots of different bank accounts, and I have, several different corporations, and I have a house in Malibu and an apartment in New York, and I do a lot of charity work and help out that way as much as I can.
Philanthropy, you give money away?
Yeah, and I buy art and
well, stop a minute.
Blah, 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 blah.
Well, let's start there and we'll go backwards. What kind of art do you like?
I like Art Deco, Art Nouveau, like constructivist, Russian constructivist, yeah. I have a lot of Lampikas. She's my favorite painter.
Philanthropy. What are your philanthropies?
What?
Well, I know you did an AIDS benefit.
Mm-hmm. Mostly, I give money to cancer research and trying to think of other things. Cancer research, AIDS research, aid to Nicaraguans.
Which
God,
side?
you have to ask Melissa. She knows all that
Which
stuff.
side of the Nicaraguans?
I'm an anti-Contra, so.
Sandinista.
Yep.
How come?
That's none of your business.
Fair answer.
I'm certainly not going to get into that discussion.
You're on a tour, and it's no coincidence that, or maybe it is a coincidence, but I don't think it is, that you're on a big tour, well publicized, highly successful, and the movie comes out. How does that work? Or the career, do you manage, do you time, do you, and I'm back in exploring
somehow,
Madonna as
somehow
president and chairman of the board.
It just all kind of works out. I mean,
it's not calculated?
Not particularly. I mean, it's like my last tour. It just so happened that after I'd made my Like a Virgin album, I got the part in Desperately Seeking Susan, and then when the movie was coming out, I was ready to do my tour, so it all happened at once. And the same thing happened again. After I made Shanghai Surprise, I came back and finished my True Blue album, released the album, and as soon as that happened, the part for Who's That Girl came. So I did that, and then I wanted to go on tour again, so I worked to go on tour as soon as I was done with the movie, and then it sort of coincided that the movie was coming out, with the tour coming out. But it wasn't calculated.
Which is paramount with Madonna? The movie or the tour?
They're equally important.
You started life as an Alvin Ailey dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, you didn't start as an Alvin Ailey. One works up to that because one is good. Why did you give up dancing?
I didn't. I danced my ass off in my show.
But you don't think of yourself first and foremost as a
dancer?
As a dancer. I mean, at some point you decided.
No, but it certainly has helped me in everything that I've done. So I've never really given it up.
I wouldn't take any of the bricks out of the foundation you've laid by no means.
Yeah.
But
that is like what it is, a foundation that I've built, and I just use it.
Where did you go from dancing? What was the next step?
Singing.
Drumming?
Oh, well, yeah, playing drums in a band, and then learning how to play guitar, and then writing songs, and then singing, and then making videos, and then acting.
Yeah. It's a long list.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm interviewing you. This is a congressional testimony, and I'm laying my case. And the point I want to make is there's I think, a bad rap on you that...
There's probably several.
Yeah. What are the other ones?
Well, you tell me what you're going to say.
And then you'll tell me one?
Maybe.
Okay. That you are basically a one-note Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
Your voice is good, but you are a phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Fact is, you're kind of a multi-talented, more than a triple threat, aren't you?
To whom?
A triple threat. That means somebody who can sing, somebody who can dance, somebody who can act on Broadway. I mean,
right.
That's what you want to find. Someone who can do it all.
Right.
And you could say, yeah, I can do that, and I can also drum.
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's a bad rap? Do you get a bad rap? I mean, never mind. crying all the way to the bank.
Yeah,
but
right.
still,
Do I think I get a bad rap?
Yeah.
I think that I'm misunderstood, but I think that's okay. I don't expect everyone to get everything that I'm about.
it's part of the mystery.
Exactly. And that way people keep discovering things and you know,
You're not wounded then by such criticism as that.
no.
What did Mick Jagger said something awful, dumb. I mean, his implication was Madonna is dumb. Maybe it was Madonna's lyrics were dumb, not Madonna.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember reading it somewhere too.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
I
You
thought
ever
some
met him?
thoughts I wouldn't say on television.
Have you since forgiven him? Or
Oh, of course I have. I met him after he said it.
What'd you say to him?
Nothing. I mean, talked about other things. I didn't.
You think he changed his mind?
Did I change his mind?
Yeah.
I don't really feel he felt that way when he said it. I think he was feeling my threat. So he said it.
All right. I said one, you say one. What are some of the other bad raps?
Wait, I think you sort of covered them all, though. I mean, my bad rap is that I'm not really that talented, that I just have a penchant for, having a good publicity kind of thing around me. Obviously that's not true. So, I think an image and like a good hook gets you in the door, but something has to keep you in the room. And, other bad raps, I think that's the main thing, Yeah. I'm a gold digger or an opportunist, whatever.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah.
Was that Rolling Stone?
Yeah, I think so.
What's that story, the opportunist? What case did they make?
Oh, that I stepped all over people on my way to the top, kind of a thing.
You did make a remark once that you got to keep moving.
Yeah.
And you can't take everybody.
You can't take everybody with you. Exactly.
Is that opportunist or is that what everybody
That's
does?
what, it's whatever you want to call it, I think that, to me, the definition of being an opportunist is someone who seizes the moment and gets the most out of what they can. And, certainly never having the intention of hurting anyone.
What about the little people? Are there little people that you've forgotten along the way?
I'm sure there are. But there's too many people in the world for me to be remembering them all the time. And the people that I do remember are the people who are worth remembering.
You say that with a steely, cool glint in your eye, and I don't think you're that cold.
I'm not cold, but it's true. I mean, you've met a lot of people on the way to where you are, right? But do you call them all and send them all postcards and Christmas presents and stuff?
People have implied that you should.
Well, I mean, isn't that what you're implying? That I'm cold because I say that I can't remember everyone? I mean, the people who really mean something to me and who are going to enhance and enrich my life as I grow are the people who are still around me. And the other people are people that I've gotten what I could possibly get from them, and I appreciate that. Or they're people who I could never have gotten anything out of really, or, you know what I mean? That's just the way life is.
A couple years ago, how are we doing?
No, fine.
I'm sorry. A couple of years ago, you were on the, never mind Rolling Stone, the cover of Time magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Is your success ever scary? I mean, is the air thinner up there in the stratosphere?
Yes, it is. Because I know that lots of people are paying attention to me and watching my every move, and I think I feel it more than ever now because I'm doing stadium shows, and I get up on stage and I see 65,000 people all standing there, and all of a sudden I feel like, I have a big responsibility.
It's not stage fright
No.
you're talking about.
No. It's just seeing that many, knowing that you sold a certain amount of records or so many people have bought this magazine is much different than seeing them all in one room. and feeling their presence and knowing that they want something, they're there to get something from you.
And there are times when you don't quite feel equal to that pressure?
Not that I can't do it, but just, wow, you know, I have a big responsibility. Look what I've done. You know?
Do you like people to look at you?
Most of the time. Yeah. But, you know, you always have your ugly days. Or you have a big zit, you know, on your face, and you're like,
Not Madonna.
don't want people. Oh, yes. Ask my makeup artist.
It's not in your contract, is it?
To have zits. I wish. Well, you just have a, you know, bad day. You know, you don't feel great. So if people are looking at you when you walk down the street, you don't want them to.
But they do anyway.
Exactly.
That's part of the package.
Right.
Irony. The man in your life can't stand it.
Right. It's not that he can't stand being looked at. He just likes privacy. He's a very private person.
There's a columnist who wrote what in effect was a public lecture to your husband.
Right.
And people like him who think they can play the star game by their rules.
Right.
The case she made, do you remember what I'm talking about? The case she made was that if you want to be a star, you owe it to your fans. You owe it to the paparazzi, whatever, to the people who make stars happen and so forth. If you don't want to play by that rule, then go sell insurance or something. Do you believe that?
I'm not sure. It depends on who. I believe the person. I'm not sure who you're saying said this. It depends.
Well, it's Liz Smith, and I may be paraphrasing unfairly. That's why I didn't intentionally say.
I think that there are certain things you have to accept in this business. That, you know, you become a larger than life figure, and people want to know about you, and you have to expect a certain amount of an invasion. People walking up to you in the streets, doing interviews, people wanting to know you, touch you. That you just have to expect a certain amount of it. But then, you know, you have to draw the line.
Where do you draw the line?
I draw the line when I get to my house, and I go up my driveway. And that's where the line is, you know. Wherever I live, you know, that should be sacred. And my own private life, and, you know, my romantic life, that's where I draw the line.
Do your fans know that?
What?
Do they understand that there's a line at all?
I don't think that it occurs to them to understand. I mean, if you really, really like someone or idolize someone, or you do anything to find out about them, I mean, it depends. Certain people go to a lot of extremes. I know people hang out at the bottom of our driveway a lot and constantly ring our doorbell, and they want to see us. They think that we're going to invite them up for a cup of tea or something, you know. And then there are other people who are fans of mine who just write me letters and want my autograph, you know. So there's different kinds of fans.
Is it ever frightening?
Frightening? Yeah, sometimes, when they're relentless and they never leave you alone.
You are so exposed. I mean, look at the picture on your True Blue album, provocative.
Jugular vein.
The seductress in your videos. I mean, you do the product, and I mean, it is a product. That's the Madonna that we see on the air is so inviting. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'm not really afraid of that. It's meant to be provocative, you know, but it's not only meant to be provocative in a sexual way, also in a thinking in other ways, you know. I don't think about that aspect, you know. I like to provoke people, but I don't think about the danger of it. And if there is a dangerous element, that's exciting to me.
I have no intention of crossing the line you don't want to cross about your romantic life. But it is interesting that that Sean Penn found Madonna, the world's most public woman, and fell in love with her. And
Well, opposites attract.
yeah. Do you ever try to help him accommodate some of the exigencies, if you will, of the movie business? Or is that his decision, period, end of discussion?
Yes, that is. I mean, I specifically don't want to discuss Sean and how he handles himself. He's a grown man, and he makes his own decisions about that. And when he wants to talk to the public about it, he can do that, but I don't want to.
You're very careful about his life, and yet you are available. I see the difference.
Well,
and I respect it.
I'm me. I can't speak for him. It's not fair.
So where are you going next?
Well, after I do my show in Chicago, I have a show in Madison, and Madison, Wisconsin, and then Ohio, and then Detroit, then New York,
Then
Europe.
in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when I ask about the future, how far away is the future? Is that next
future's
winter
tomorrow.
or tomorrow is the future?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think beyond that?
Well, I've been thinking beyond that for several years, and I'm relishing the idea of not really doing anything for a month after my tour. Everybody who knows me right now is going, "Oh, sure, she's going to take a month off." But
Why? Why are they so dubious?
because I'm a workaholic. I mean, I love to work. I just do one thing after the next.
Well, you're lucky, and I hope you stay that way
Yeah.
for a career's worth.
Mm-hmm.
But in your line of work,
It's good to take
you
time
can
off.
only want to work if someone gives you something to do.
No,
If
not
there's a
necessarily.
concert and you can sell tickets, if there's a screenplay and they want you for the
Yeah,
for
but
the
you can
part
create
of-
things too. You can develop movies, and you can work on things like that. Or
You're not someone who does a picture, sits back, and is sure the phone will never ring again.
No, absolutely not.
You don't know that most people in the
Well, I
business
do other
probably
things.
do
I-
have that insecurity.
Maybe they do, but I write songs. I make records. I have. I know this sounds stupid, but I have a multifaceted career. So I don't just sit around waiting for someone to send me a screenplay. I am developing screenplays for myself as an actress, and I hope to produce movies in the future. And I'm going to continue to write music and make records. So there's tons of stuff to do, and I have to learn how to tap dance. So,
Why do you have to learn?
because it's something I don't know how to do, and I want to learn.
You didn't learn that back in Pontiac?
No, can you believe it?
No, I can't.
So, that's up on my agenda.
Do you have time?
Oh, well, I'll make time.
Where? I mean, there are 24 hours is standard.
Well, when I'm done with my tour and I have time off, I'll go to, Sally Moses tap dancing school. I don't know. And I want to learn how to surf, too.
You don't already? Right? So near Lake Michigan and you never
No,
learned?
they don't have big waves in Lake Michigan, but Sean's a really good surfer, and we live in Malibu, and I'm terrified of it, so I want to learn how to do it because I like to do things I'm terrified of.
What do you do on your time off?
I read and go to movies, and I eat
What?
everything.
Not everything.
Well, I'm a vegetarian,
Right.
but I ate a whole bag of cinnamon gumdrops last night.
One after another?
Uh-huh.
Would you qualify that as a binge?
Definitely.
Why?
Because I ate the whole bag.
No, I mean, I know it's a binge, but I mean, why did you do it?
Because I have a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
And after I do a show, I'm ravenously hungry. I should have eaten something healthy, but I didn't.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I've
Run the gamut?
I've come up against a wall.
Oh.
And I've met the Madonna that Madonna wants me to see, right?
Sure.
And the rest I can only speculate about.
Exactly.
See, now what you've done is you have perfected the I will play by the rules and I will give the interviews and I will be available, and when they leave, they won't know a whole lot more about me than they did when they came. So
you sure?
you have found a way to protect yourself, haven't you?
I wouldn't call it protection. It's just letting a little bit out at a time.
You having fun?
Yeah.
You're happy? This is a happy time in your life?
Yes.
Is it all you dreamed it would be when you were a little girl?
No. How could I dream all of this?
It's better.
It's just bigger than anything I could ever imagine.
If I knew how it really was, would I want to trade places with you? Why not?
Oh, 'cause it's hard work. 'Cause it is. And you have to want to, I don't know, I guess you have to really have a very large, ego and good tolerance for pain, and you have to be addicted to work and keep going and going and going. And
the pain, physical pain, dancers,
everything.
What pain?
Pain. All pain.
Pain. Where's the pain come in?
Oh, when you're tired and you're sick and you can't go on stage and you have to. When you work really hard on something and it doesn't come out the way you wanted it to come out, and you put your blood and guts into it for months and months.
Shanghai Surprise.
Right. That's pain, but you learn from it. So, it's worth it.
But people, and I mean your fans, every night she gets to sing the song, she already knows the words. So what can
I forget the words sometimes.
What work can that be? She looks terrific, and what fun to put on great clothes.
Yeah, but I work my ass off
someone
every day to look terrific. Believe me.
What do you do other than eat the cinnamon balls at night and pay the next day?
Well, I don't eat them all the time, first of all, and I have a fairly strict diet. I mean, and that I don't eat any animal products. I don't eat any meat or fish or chicken or dairy products, but I eat everything else.
But this is you consider this is a professional sacrifice? That
I've been a vegetarian since I was 15, but I eliminated the dairy products when I started training before my show because I have more energy.
And the jogging, everybody.
And less mucus when I'm singing and stuff. So. And I have a trainer who kicks my ass every day. So.
And that's very hard work.
It is.
Well, I appreciate your taking time with us.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
Okay.
Best to your husband.
Thank you. The end.
Hi, I'm Madonna. I guess you know when you're in love when you finally decide that you want to make sacrifices for somebody else, or you want to give something up for somebody else, or you don't just concentrate on yourself. I think like the love that parents have for their children. Dad!
Madonna, I think it's time we get going here.
Get going where, Dad?
We gotta go. We got some homework to do and things to do.
Dad, I graduated from high school
But you're
12
pretending.
years ago. Pretending what?
You're pretending that you're a movie star and you're really not.
I am a movie star. Once we got older and we could drive ourselves, my father, my parents would go to the earlier mass, and we'd say we're going to go to the later one. We'd all get in the car together, and we'd go down to the donut shop, and then we'd go to church and pick up like a flyer, like we'd been there, you know, and we'd make up something that the priest said during the sermon. I think my father knew all along that we were lying.
Well, I don't think she lied to me, but she didn't always
Yeah,
give me
you're
the
lying
full
right
truth.
now.
She probably did.
Most
kids do.
He's so loyal, he won't say anything bad about me. The thing is, if my father hadn't been strict, I wouldn't be who I am today. And I think that his strictness taught me a certain amount of discipline that has helped me in my life and in my career, and also made me work harder for things, whether that's acceptance or the privilege to do something. Yeah, my nickname in my family was the Mouth. When you're from a big family, everybody's really competitive with each other. So, aside from just screaming really loud and doing things that got me attention, like we would all get in various kinds of trouble to get my father's attention, and then be punished accordingly. But I think I was really competitive in school with my grades and stuff. My father used to give us rewards if we got A's, like all A's on our report cards. And so it was my goal to get the best report cards all the time. It wasn't so much that I was interested in learning, it was more that I was interested in getting the best grades and, getting the most. My father gave us 25 cents for every A that we got. So I wanted to earn the most amount of money. I wanted to be the envy of my brothers and sisters. Well, everyone in the family studied a musical instrument. My father was really big on that. Somehow, I only took about a year and a half of piano lessons, and I convinced my father to let me take dancing lessons instead. So I escaped the dreariness of piano lessons every day, which I despised. So, but there was always music in our house, either practicing or records or the radio or someone singing in the bathtub or noise, lots of noise. This last one, Express Yourself, I've had the most amount of input. I oversaw everything, the building of the sets, everyone's costume. I had meetings with makeup and hair and the cinematographer and, everybody. Casting, finding the right cat, just every aspect. Yeah, kind of like making a little movie. We basically sat down and just threw out every idea we could possibly conceive of. And of all the things we wanted, all the imagery we wanted, and I had a few set ideas. For instance, the cat. And the idea of Metropolis, I was, definitely wanted to have that influence, that look on all the men, the workers, sort of diligently, methodically working away. David's idea for the cat to lick the milk and then pour it over, it's great. And believe me, I mean, I have to, I fought him on that. I didn't want to do it. I thought, it's just so over the top and silly and kind of cliche, like art student or film student kind of trick, but I'm glad that I gave in to him. The ultimate thing behind the song is that if you don't express yourself, if you don't say what you want, then you're not going to get it. And in effect, you are chained down by your inability to say what you feel or go after what you want. Lots of times, Pat Leonard will come up with a piece of music like, Oh, Father. We did very little to change it musically, and he throws the music at me, and I just listen to it over and over again, and somehow the music suggests words to me, and I just start writing the words down. Other times, I will come to Pat with an idea for a song, either lyrically or emotionally, and say, let's do something like this, or I'll have a melody line in my head, which I will sing to him, and he will sort of pound out the chords to. I mean, it takes a lot longer to do it that way because I don't play an instrument, but ultimately it's a lot more personal. And then Steve Bray, it's the same thing. Sometimes he'll come up with a track, and he'll have a verse and a chorus, but he won't have a bridge, so we'll write the bridge musically together. I think that, Prince lives a very isolated life, and I don't, and that is the big difference between us, and I just try to be a positive influence on him. I've always been a fan. I think he's incredible, and I also admire he's very courageous, and he causes lots of controversy, too, which is great, and I think he is a brilliant musician. And we'd gotten together a couple of times, in the hopes of working with each other in some way, either originally we were going to do a musical together, and we were going to write the music for it, and that didn't really pan out. You know what I mean? We just kept getting together, and he seemed to fight the idea of just writing songs for a record together, because he's done that with so many people. He came to see me in the play I did last summer in New York, and he just, for the hell of it, put together a tape of some rough things that we had done in all of our meetings that we had. And Love Song was one of the songs, and I just said, you know, this is crazy. It's such a great song. Why not put it on the record? And it seemed to relate to all the other songs because it's about a relationship that's, you know, a hate-love relationship. And so he agreed to it, and we kind of sent the tapes back and forth to each other, and we keep building it. It was like he would write a sentence, and I would add on to it, and then send it back to him, and he would continue the story, you know, basically. It was fun. Because in this song, really, it is only my musical influence and his. Like, I didn't have Pat or Steve's help. I played the keyboards myself, and because I don't know that much, it kind of came out strange and interesting. It was about innocence versus decadence, really, and in the end, I chose innocence. I mean, that's what the child represented. You know, it's the childlike quality that everybody has versus all the people in the club who, you know, sort of were jaded and decadent and depraved. You know, the other side of life that I'm interested in. My first boyfriend was when I was, I guess, I think 14 or 15. I fell in love with a boy named Russell. He was the only boy who would dance with me at school because I was really wild at the high school dances. And I danced completely insanely, and all the guys were afraid to ask me to dance with them because I basically ignored them anyways. So, but Russell was a wild dancer, and he was a couple years older, so he was more sophisticated. And so he was the one who had the courage, really. So he won my heart because he wasn't afraid of me. I can't remember what I saw first, Elton John or David Bowie, but I was punished for seeing both of them because Cobo Arena was a really dangerous part of downtown Detroit, and it really wasn't a place for young girls to be going unescorted, which we all were. So I think I lied to my father and said I was spending the night at my girlfriend's, and then I went off to the concerts, and both times my father called and found that I wasn't there and found out that I'd gone to the concert. And I think I got grounded or something, and I had to, like one summer I wanted to go away to camp or something, and I wasn't allowed to because I went to see David Bowie. But they were both, it was worth it. I borrowed a long black, like, velvet cape from my girlfriend. Who knows what I had underneath it. But I made a grand entrance, and that was the most important thing. My own ideas about God, and then I had the ideas that I thought were imposed on me. And I believe in God. I believe that everything you do comes back to you. I believe in the innate goodness of people and the importance of that. People who are really, if they're really passionate and they really have an open mind, and they really watch closely, I think that the video has a very positive message, and that they wouldn't find fault with it. The passion there's something almost sexual about it, really. I mean, if you want to get really psychoanalytical about it. But, you know, the video was very, I think it had a very positive message. Wow. It was about overcoming racism and overcoming the fear of telling the truth, of getting, so many people witness crimes and they're afraid to get involved because it will only bring them trouble. They're afraid to stand out on a limb and stand up for someone else. And I think it had a lot of positive messages. I mean, it's a very taboo subject to have an interracial relationship, you know what I mean? And the idea of that kind of joyousness in the church, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It dealt with a lot of taboos, and it made people afraid. And I think the people who reacted negatively to it were afraid of their own feelings that they have about those issues. I have to listen to the criticism that I get when they're dealing with my work, and it's beneficial. I guess I don't take criticism very well, but it's getting better. And if I do something and there's 100 people in the room and 99 people say they liked it, I only remember the one person who didn't like it. Well, the thing is, I wouldn't even be blonde now, except that I'm doing Dick Tracy, and I had to dye my hair blonde, but I begged Warren Beatty to let me have dark hair because it took me so long to grow my hair out, and I really wanted to have dark hair. I felt like I was, along with the album, which was much more personal and stuff, I felt kind of great having my own hair color for the first time in years. There was something exotic to me about having dark hair versus blonde hair, and then I had to change it, so it was a little bit, I had a bit of an identity crisis, because that's the avenue I was going down, and then all of a sudden I had to change it. So women with blonde hair are perceived as much more sexual and much more kind of impulsive, not so serious, fun-loving, you know what I mean, but not as layered, not as deep, not as serious. I really want to be recognized as an actress. I've learned that if you surround yourself with great writers and great actors and a great director and a great costumer or whatever, that it's pretty hard to go wrong. And in the past, I've been in a really big hurry to make movies, you know what I mean, and I haven't kind of taken the time to make sure that all of those elements were in line and good. And now, if Warren's taught me anything, it's that, and that is to be patient, and it's a waste of time to do something mediocre. That unless you absolutely believe in it 100% in every aspect, that you shouldn't waste your time. I don't take drugs myself. I've experimented, but they just don't do anything for me. My imagination and my energy level is overdeveloped as far as I'm concerned. I don't want to deaden it, and I don't want to make it something different. I don't want to alter my state of mind, but I know that lots of people are very creative if they're smoking grass or have been, or dropping acid or something. I don't understand that because it doesn't work for me. Obviously, I'm not condoning, someone to take drugs, and I've watched a lot of people kill themselves taking drugs, whether it's heroin or coke, ruin their careers, their lives, their families, their relationships. I think ultimately drugs destroy you. They take away your natural ability to be creative or love yourself, deal with people, communicate, whatever. And it seems maybe in the beginning that they help that they aid it, that they enhance it, but ultimately they destroy it. Wow. So I think it's better just to not take drugs. There's a lot of terrible things happening in the world today, and there's a lot of people that need our help, and there's a lot of environmental issues that need to be dealt with. But in terms of, AIDS, I've just known so many people that have died of AIDS, and it's such a serious problem. And like so much of the art community in New York, you know what I mean? I feel like in 5 years from now, all of my friends will be dead in a way. And it really hits home with me. It's a very serious matter. And then the Brazilian rainforest, like I said, the night of the performance, the benefit performance, I didn't think that it was such a personal issue for me. I didn't think it was such a big deal until I got all the facts about it, and it really is, more than, the threat of a nuclear war, which may or may not happen. If we destroy the rainforest, we are destroying ourselves, and it's happening right now. And in 50 years, the entire rainforest will be gone, and we need we need the rainforest for oxygen. We need the rainforest to absorb the carbon dioxide that goes into the atmosphere from all the cars and all the pollution. And we need the forest to help find cures for AIDS and cancer, which is an important issue for me. My mother died of cancer. My best friend died of AIDS. So it's a really, vital, important issue. Anything else I'd like to say? I don't know. Peace. Peace, man. Make love, not war. That's all.
Madonna, come down off that stage this instant.
Daddy, is that you?
You're coming home with me right now, young lady.
But Daddy, I'm having a good time.
You heard what I said.
Dad!
Hello, wild child.